Hello, amazing 3G artists. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to finish up the Icarus project that we started with our painted paper last time. So here are the materials you will need. I am going to start off with a piece of just regular white copy paper. You could use notebook paper, anything kind of like scratch paper. We're just going to practice on this paper. The other thing you'll need is a black piece of paper, and this is just a half sheet, and then the blue paper that we painted and the yellow paper that we painted. You're also going to need a pencil to draw some things and a pair of scissors. When you're done cutting, you will also need some glue, and so I would recommend just a bottle of liquid Elmer's glue, or if you have a glue stick, that should work too. So those should be fine. All right, let's start off first of all by taking our practice paper and folding it in half so that we give ourselves actually 4 different spots to practice drawing on. And what we're going to practice drawing is the idea of Icarus falling through the sky. So as you can see, Henri Matisse made his Icarus with an arm flailing up this way and an arm down this way. You can see his head is kind of tilted and his legs are just kind of floating. So think about the lines that you see here. Now, you don't have to try to copy this Icarus exactly like that. You are very free to draw your Icarus in a different way. Here's one way I did it last year. I just did it more like both hands flying up. So that's one possibility. Notice also that you don't have to make it look like a realistic human being. It's okay to have things kind of out of proportion a little bit. Now I will say that it does need to fill up the space. So like our blue paper is this big. That means our Icarus needs to be almost as tall. So that's why I folded this so it could be the same, about the same height. So you're gonna wanna go from the top to the bottom and fill up that whole space. So just practice drawing a few different kinds of Icarus bodies and see which one you like the best. So just do it kind of quick, like put an arm up here, and you don't even have to put a hand, or you could, it's up to you. I'm going to put one going down this time, and then I'm going to just kind of see how it goes. And now that, since you're just practicing, you can fix things. If you want to kind of make that thinner, round that off a little bit, feel free to erase and change it. So that's one. Now I'm going to flip it over and try another one. Let's see, maybe I'll try one with the head kind of tilting this way, and one arm going way up this side, and one going down. So there's a second option. All right, now I'm gonna open it up, and let's see, I'll fold it the other way. All right, maybe I'll try one this time that has both of the arms kind of flailing up. One leg bigger than the other on purpose. Okay, one more try. This time I'm going to try drawing the legs first. I'm going to make the thighs a little bigger, kind of like Matisse did it. Ooh, I kind of like that one. I'm gonna fix, oh, a nice eraser. All right, so find the one that you like the best out of the ones that you practiced and see if there's anything you need to fix on it. So like I had to fix this line here. I think the head might need to be a little bit bigger. So I'm just gonna kind of try that again. All right, let's see. Yeah, I kind of like that one. I'm gonna go with that one. So once you decide which one you really like, then, so you don't have to try to copy it exactly, you can take a pair of scissors and just quickly cut it out, and you'll use this to trace onto your black paper. Okay, so now you're going to take your black paper, and by the way, you could always flip it and see if you like it that way better, you know, so just kind of test it out, see which way you like it the best, and then hold it still and use a pencil to trace around it. All right, then obviously the next step is to cut it out of the black paper. Now, whenever I trace something and then I cut it out, I try to cut off the lines that I drew so that you can't see the pencil lines anymore. So I try to keep the edge of my scissors just inside the pencil line so the pencil doesn't show. The other trick is that, again, if you don't like how much pencil line you're seeing, you could flip it over and glue it down backwards if you like it that direction as well. Okay, now check it and see if you feel like you got all the cuts nice and smooth. I think I might go this way. I don't know. There might be a spot where you need to kind of round it off a little better. Maybe your feet need a little bit of a rounding. So just feel free to kind of trim it up to make it look extra good. All right, then you're going to take your blue painted paper, decide which way you like that the best. I think I'll go this way. And then you're going to glue Icarus onto your paper. Okay, now we're going to work on the stars. So the stars that Matisse made are delightful. I love these stars. They're so zigzaggy, and they're all different, you know? They're not all like 5-pointed stars. Like, look at this one. It's like the sunburst almost over here. And this one has some short spiky ones on the top and some bigger ones on the bottom. So I really want you to kind of go for some, you know, some different looking stars. So what I would suggest is, first of all, to just kind of cut a strip of paper off so that you're not working with a big piece. And then cut a little square and then start cutting away from that point. So you might even want to round it a little bit to kind of get rid of the square shape. Round it off a little. Then you can cut in like that to get some spikies started. Then you can switch directions. Just kind of try to cut some triangle shapes out, like if you've ever cut a snowflake and you've cut out little triangle shapes. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing about these awesome Matisse stars, is they're all a little different. Just end up by making sure that you've got all the spikes all the way around, okay? So you'll just be making a few different stars like that. And what's great too, I think that I want you to make sure this happens at least once. Make sure you've got at least one star that you're going to glue right on the edge, and you're going to trim it off like it's kind of going off the page. So for example, if I did that with this one that I already did, I would take it and put put a little bit of glue on one section of it, not the whole thing, just on one side. Oops. And then glue that on wherever, here, and let it hang off the side. And then once it dries a little bit, you're gonna trim that off. So let's let that sit there for a minute so it gets a little more stable. In the meantime, I'm going to do one that's a little different. I'm gonna cut big spikes on this side, and then I'm going to purposefully cut lots of smaller spikes on the other side. All right, now I'm going to cut this one off, show you. I'm just going to line my scissors right up on the edge and trim it off so it matches the edge of the paper. All right, looks like it's going up the side. And I have a tiny little piece sticking out here, so I'm going to trim that off too. Boom. Okay, now I'm just going to make about 3 or 4 more stars, and we'll glue those on. And then I have one step I almost forgot about. What do you think we'll be missing? Take one more look here. I've got the blue background. We're getting the yellow stars. We have our Icarus. What is missing? I hope you noticed that circle of red. That is Icarus's heart. We need to add that as well. So I forgot to tell you might need a little dab of red paint. If you don't have paint, you could always try to take a piece of white paper and just color it red and then cut out the tiny little circle, okay? I happen to have some red paint right here from a project I did with my Prima scholars, so I will just use that. I'm gonna dip my paintbrush in there and put one dot right about where the heart would be. So as you're looking at Icarus, it's on the right side. That would mean for Icarus himself, it's on his left side. All right, so you can decide how many stars you want to put on your picture. I think I'm good with 5. And I'm just gonna let that dry and then it'll be all done. So when you're done with yours and it's all complete, I'm gonna need you to take a photo of it and send it to my email, rose@parnassusprep.com. All right, I hope you had fun painting with scissors, just like Henri Matisse, and I will see you next time.